Hi there, my name's Andy, and today I'm going to be reviewing a song called Nina Cried Power by the amazing Hozier. Hozier is a singer-songwriter from Ireland, and this particular song is sung together with the legendary Mavis Staples, one of the Staples singers who were basically part of the soundtrack to the civil rights movement in the USA. And that's important for this song, because Nina Cried Power is basically a collection of tributes to all of the people who stood up with their music and stood up for something or against something. And Nina in Nina Cried Power is Nina Simone. So you're going to hear a lot of references to people who've been really important for the protest movements in recent decades. And I'm going to show you a version from the Windmill Lane Studios. It's a live version, and I'll take you through the song and why it's wonderful. Okay, let's do this.
It's not the waking, it's the rising. It is the grounding of a foot uncompromising. It's not forgoing of the light, it's not the opening of eyes. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It's not the shade, we should be past it. It's the light and it's the obstacle that casts it. It's the heat that drives the light, it's the fire it ignites. It's not the waking, it's the rising. It's not the song, it is the singing.
Okay, I want to come in there just for a moment. So from the beginning, what you hear firstly is just this amazing drum beat that kicks in. Fantastically played drum beat. And as Hozier comes in and sings, you see the camera kind of go around to a lot of different people in the room. And that's a huge band that he's got there. I mean, if we just go through what we've already seen already, we've got a drummer, we've got a bassist, we've got a lead guitarist, we've got two people on keyboards, we've got a backing vocalist, and she's got a shaker. We've got another backing vocalist that's going to use like a drum effects pad that you're going to see later on, and you've got Hozier himself and Mavis Staples. So you've got a large group of people in there playing that song already together live. So fantastic set of sounds being built up. I wanted just to mention that, the number of people involved in this production, as well as all the people behind the scenes. So it's a great lineup here, and I'll say more about that later on, and I'll just take you back a couple of frames so we can jump back in.
It's not the waking, it's the rising. It's not the song, it is the singing. It's the heaven of the human spirit ringing. It is the bringing of the line. It is the bearing of the rhyme. It's not the waking, it's the rising.
So what I want to tell you there, you've seen lots of hand claps going on, but you can see right now the lady on the screen has got a drumstick in her hand, and she's using that to play on the second beat of some of the bars on an electric drum effects pad. And I'm told, because my drummer has one of these, I'm told that it's a Roland effects pad, and that just adds a little extra percussive element to those verses. So you've got the hand claps and you've got this drum effects pad on top of the actual drums. So I'll just take you back a little bit and let you listen in so you can hear that as well.
It's not the song, it is the singing. It's the heaven of the human spirit ringing. It is the bringing of the line. It is the bearing of the rhyme. It's not the waking, it's the rising. And I could cry
Okay, so I've got to tell you something about this now. If you're watching the premiere of this and you're in the chat with me, I'll be incredibly impressed if you tell me something that happened in the middle of the chorus that just really pumped up the mood of the music. Now, I can't wait, but I'll tell you a little bit now about some other things that I noticed, and then we'll come back to that question. So firstly, as you go into that chorus, you hear Hozier, who we've been hearing all the time thus far, amazing vocals, and then you hear all those backing vocalists. And pretty much everybody in that room is singing. Almost everybody in there has a microphone, even the drummer, he's kind of singing up to the mic. You've got a huge choir there. And those backing vocals really contribute to the mood of the chorus there. Also, then you've got Mavis Staples, who comes in the second half of the chorus, and that voice. I can't remember exactly how old Mavis Staples is, but I believe she was in her late 70s when she recorded this with Hozier. I believe she celebrated her 80th birthday relatively recently, if I remember that correctly. But yeah, just an amazing power in that voice. Now then, back to my original question. I'm going to wind this back in a second and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very unusual for this to happen, but in the first half of this chorus, the bass wasn't there at all. There was no bass guitar. And in the middle of the chorus, that bass comes in and it's boom, real impact. So that's a really cool strategy that I don't hear all that often. So just check this out. Let's see if I've gone back far enough.
Behind it, Lord, the fear of fellow man is a mere assignment, and everything that we're denied by keeping the divide. It's not the waking, it's the rising. And I could cry.
That's a good place to pause right there. So you'll have heard what I meant now in both of those choruses with the bass coming in the second half that really kind of just pushes that intensity. So a couple of other little things that I could mention here. Lyrically, I'm not going to say a whole lot about this song, and I'll tell you why. Hozier has given lots of interviews himself about it, and I'll point you towards two of them. Firstly, my favourite music podcast from the UK, and this is not paid advertising, I just really love what they do. It's a podcast called Soda Jerker. Two guys from Liverpool interviewing the greats of the music industry, and Hozier was one of them, and he talks a lot about the song and how he came up with it and how they put it together in that interview. And secondly, a podcast called Song Exploder, and there's an episode dedicated just to this song about how they actually went about recording it and how Mavis Staples got involved, and both massively worth a listen. So I won't say too much about the lyrics, but what I will say is that there's a whole load of people that are mentioned here, all those names, just the history of protest. So you've got all kinds of people from Joni Mitchell to obviously Nina Simone. You've also got James Brown in there. So there's a lot of really big names from the music industry that stood up and sung for their rights. Okay, let us carry on. No, let us not. One more thing. The lady with the red guitar that you've seen a couple of times, and I'll wind back again so you can see that guitar. The lady playing it is a lady called Suzanne Santo, who is now mostly a solo artist, but was previously, and I believe still is, half of a duo from the USA called Honey Honey. And now she's gone solo. There's a bit more rock to what she does as well. There's a bit more grit to it. And I've really enjoyed listening to her, so I'll be reacting to her, I think, sometime soon as well. Okay, I'll take you back in.
by those stronger than me. Straight into the face that tells you to rattle your chains if you love being free.
Lord, I could cry. Cause power is my love when my love reaches to me. J-Rock cry power. See, you gotta cry power. More than cry power.
Okay, so that breakdown in the middle there, that bridge part, what you've got there is most of the instruments taken out. The drums are gone, the bass is gone, and you've got an organ, and you've got the lead guitar, and that's going together with the hand claps and the vocals. And then those choirs still come in. So that's a really cool effect of just stripping it back from some of the more dominant instruments and letting the voices shine through. Fantastic. And lyrically, I mean, there's a couple of lines in there, wow. You know, Mavis is singing, power has been cried by those stronger than me, straight into the face that tells you to rattle your chains if you love being free. And whew, the history in that. And they talk about that in those interviews that I pointed you towards. And you can also just see on Mavis's face when Hozier's singing his part, he's singing, power is my love when my love reaches to me. And just check out her face when he sings that. And just the power in her voice at the end of that part there when she sings Marvin cried power. Just listen to that one more time because it's amazing. I'll take you back. Alright, so just a couple of last things from that final chorus there. Firstly, the way their voices kind of merged with each other at times, you know, the way that they sang in between each other's lines, fantastic, and it's beautifully arranged. You know, that's been really carefully put together so that the impact's there, the emotion's there, but nothing's kind of dominating each other too much. Just fantastically arranged there in general. And at the end there, you hear those organ notes really brightly as well. So you got a bright ending and quite an abrupt ending on the drum side of things. Yeah, and you see the faces of the people in the room. Just an amazing piece of music. Beautifully written by Hozier. The performance is just breathtaking with Mavis Staples there. And there are live performances of this, mostly, sadly, without Mavis Staples on the stage. But if you check out Glastonbury with Hozier performing it there, you'll find a couple of additional verses. You'll also find that he's playing a bit of guitar there, and that there's a bit more kind of a bit of distortion on the guitar, a bit of fuzz. So they push it a little further when they play it live. So yeah, just one of my favorite songs of the last few years. And I know my first two review videos have been about Nightwish, and they are one of my favorite bands. My taste in music is very broad in terms of genre. So I love singer-songwriters. Also, I love you know, solo musicians from various genres. So you're going to hear different musical directions from me with some of the reviews I'm going to do here. But please do keep throwing in those suggestions for Nightwish, for metal bands, for singer-songwriters, for whatever you like. And if I can get to them, I will do. So this was just something for a different direction, so that my students could have something to look back at that wasn't necessarily metal if they kind of felt they fit into a different direction of music. And there's a lot of solo singer-songwriters in my courses that might benefit just from checking a different direction out. So yeah, it's been great speaking to you again. If you would like to hear more, then please do hit the subscribe button, and please do stick a comment in there letting me know what you'd like to see me either review, or if I don't know it, to react to. Until next time, thank you for watching. Bye bye.